Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Thursday, August 12th. These are the charts of the day. As usual and always, alphabetically, AAU Almaden Minerals has had a quite a terrific price volume surge recently. Notice that the nice long base here was followed by a price volume surge in December of '09, but that settled back down and never did follow through until recently. Notice that the December, January, and May highs were exploded through 2 days ago as the stock gapped up. It pulled back but held the gap, and then today ran at 41 cents or 28.67% on more than 2 million shares. Strong volume for that stock. And despite the fact that it closed right near overhead resistance, and there may be some additional resistance ahead of us, up around 2.25. My near-term target is right there at that 230 range, followed by a secondary target up around the 335 range. Biovail, which has been very strong in this pullback market and has had a good account of itself, exploded with big volume in June, broke out, formed a coil of sorts, and then popped from the 19 range up to the low 20s here at 23.40 recently. Today closing at 22.68, but in the midst of a very quiet consolidation. The stock appears to be headed higher, and with lateral resistance up in the 27.5, 28 zone. That'll be my trading target on Biovail. China Agritech had a huge day today, and after releasing earnings, but notice that the stock had been forming a nice base, broke out recently, pulled back to the breakout point just before the earnings were released today. The stock jumped 302, nearly 22% on more than 4 million shares, and that's by far the biggest volume that stock has traded since it's gone public. So a significant session. It did back off of its high at, but not by much, and closed right there. If we get a follow through here, my trading target is 20, and followed by 23.5. China Marine Food Group also, as a result of earnings, broke out and ran today up 52 cents or 9.5%, trading 854,000 shares. That's the heaviest volume since June. But more importantly, the head and shoulders bottom that was formed, and which they stuck their head above yesterday, was followed through nicely. Current short-term resistance and target around the 7.25 range. We'll set that as our short-term target, and then following up, retest of the January high about 8.65. Long-term, however, looks like this could be a $10, $12 stock. Jazz Pharmaceuticals also had a nice couple sessions coming out of a base pattern with big volume the last two sessions, up another 45 cents or 4.25% today. Resistance up around 12.25 may be reached short term. That's our short term target, followed by 13.95, a test of the March high. Creighton Performance Polymers KRA, despite it being a thin stock, has had a very, very nice run. May, June, July was spent consolidating, broke out at the end of July, and has run steadily from 19 to 27.5 in just the last 4 weeks. Today had a nice reversal after dipping down to 25.12, closing at 27.41. A $2.30 reversal, closing up $1.39 or 5.3%. But it looks to me at this point, with no overhead resistance, the stock can fly. My trading target is at 30 and at 33 over the course of the next couple of weeks, perhaps. Medicines Company, MDCO, had a huge pop on heavy volume earlier this month when it ran from 9 to 15.5 in 1 day. It backed off, but now has formed a steady rising flag. It looks like a retest of that high may be in order, but I have a secondary target up around 17.5 on MDCO. Nanometrics, NANO, been acting great of late. If you step back and look at the pattern, you'll see that a 9-month base or so was formed. The stock popped on a big breakaway gap, ran up through its May-June highs, and backed off of the highs from November and December of last year, which would be normal, but it's forming a nice 3-day bull flag here. I expect that if a breakout occurs above that range, you'll see the stock at 15 and then at 18 for my next two trading targets on Nano. SPRD, a current portfolio position, has been pulling back in the last couple sessions, but today announced after the close strong earnings and the stock trading up about $1. I suspect that a test of the 11-15 zone may take place, but my trading target remains at around 13, and then beyond that around 16. And lastly is 7 Days Group Holdings, a newly mentioned stock today. You'll see a fairly recent IPO, a Chinese lodging firm, hotel firm. Today broke across the February, May, and early August highs on a breakout on 516,000 shares, up $1.07 or 8%. This could be foretelling a quick test is due of the January high at 15.25. If we take that out, perhaps something around 17 or 18 may be doable. And those are the ideas for today. Have a good evening.